After the emotionally charged storm of episode 4, an hour that dragged nearly every character back into the darkest corners of their memories, LANDMAN now approaches a point of no return. The season has been quietly tightening its grip, and episode 5 feels like the moment where everything that has been avoided finally demands attention. If episode 4 forced everyone to look backward at the ghosts that shaped them, episode 5 is preparing to force them forward into choices they can no longer delay, deny, or excuse. The warmth of recent reconciliations is still present, but beneath it runs a cold, rising current of consequences ready to break the surface. The ending of episode 4 practically sealed Rebecca's fate. Throughout the episode, she ran from her responsibilities, vanishing into Charlie Newsome's chaotic charm, drowning herself in alcohol, adrenaline, and the thrill of disappearing from her own life. But while she was spiraling in her distraction, an MTex employee died, adding tragedy to a company already at the edge of collapse. Episode 5 will not allow her to shrug this off. For the first time, Rebecca's personal escape collided violently with professional duty, creating a line she cannot simply talk her way around. Walt will not let this slide, not when her absence came at the worst possible moment. And Nathan, already struggling under the crushing weight of MTex's financial failures, may be forced to question whether Rebecca still has the clarity, reliability, or emotional stability to shoulder the legal and ethical disasters piling up around them. Her failure to return Walt's call will haunt her, not just professionally but internally, gnawing at the part of her that still wants to believe she is essential, dependable, irreplaceable. And Charlie's role in all of this will only complicate the narrative, she tells herself. What started as a distraction may begin to reveal itself as a dangerous pattern, a habit of running, of hiding, of choosing turbulence over truth. Episode 5 may push Rebecca to confront whether she stumbled into a meaningless fling or the first signs of a self-destructive spiral she can no longer control. Either way, she will find that her internal conflict can no longer be hidden, not even from herself. Meanwhile, Ariana and Cooper, arguably the heart of the show's emotional tension, ended episode 4 in a moment of tenderness that felt both healing and fragile. Their embrace was soft, desperate, and overdue, yet the distance between them didn't magically dissolve. Ariana is still caught between protecting her identity and protecting her heart, between loyalty to her community and the complicated love she feels for a man who doesn't always understand the stakes of her life. Cooper, for the first time, seems aware of how much he has failed to communicate, how much he has taken for granted, and how deeply he has misunderstood the fears she carries. Episode 5 will likely explore the quiet, vulnerable aftermath of their reunion. Their conversations may feel heavier, slower, filled with pauses that say more than the words they manage to speak. Ariana may try to imagine a version of the future that doesn't require sacrificing the spaces and people who shaped her. Cooper may try to finally listen, not defensively, not fearfully, but honestly. Yet sincerity alone may not be enough. Their fragile reconnection could either strengthen into something real or fracture under the weight of everything they've left unsaid. Miguel's presence will matter more than either of them expects. As the person both love beyond measure, his perception of their dynamic could sway the emotional direction of episode 5. His reactions, whether gentle support, quiet confusion, or protective concern, may become the thread that pulls Ariana and Cooper toward a deeper, more honest reckoning. At the same time, episode 4 gave the series one of its most tender and quietly devastating moments. Tommy finally bringing Tom home instead of abandoning him in Prairie View. The gesture carried decades of grief, resentment, longing, and complicated love. Episode 5 will likely continue this fragile emotional thaw, though nothing about it will be simple. Their new living arrangement will place them in a space where silence speaks louder than arguments ever could. Shared meals may feel awkward. Passing comments may reopen wounds they didn't know were still bleeding. And yet, beneath everything, there will be a tremor of hope, an unspoken desire to heal what has long felt broken. Tommy's hurt will not disappear simply because he unlocked the door. Tom's guilt will not vanish because he stepped inside. But for the first time, both men seem willing to stand in the same emotional room, even if it's uncomfortable. Angela may become the steadying force that guides them, though the real work will come from the quiet, everyday moments that test their willingness to forgive and be forgiven. All of this unfolds as MTex continues collapsing under its own weight. The company's instability hangs like a storm cloud over every single character, tightening the tension in relationships and pushing loyalties to their breaking point. Episode 5 feels like the hour in which small decisions carry enormous consequences. A missed call, a hesitant confession, a moment of honesty, a moment of avoidance. These seemingly simple choices may become the sparks that ignite events far bigger than the characters expect. If episode 4 was about looking back, episode 5 will be about facing forward, even if the future is terrifying. The emotional groundwork laid here will ripple through the rest of the season, shaping every bond, every betrayal, and every moment of growth still to come. It may not be explosive in the traditional sense, but emotionally, it will be seismic. This is the episode where turning points quietly take root, where unspoken truths rise to the surface, and where each character discovers that the cost of avoidance is far greater than the pain of facing what comes next.